Hello and welcome to another edition of Life Outdoors. I am your host, Chris Reckling. Hope you guys are having a great day. Today, if you love getting out on the water, if you like fishing and crabbing and kayaking and paddleboarding or just cruising on your boat, if you like sunsets over the river, you're in luck because today we're talking all things Elizabeth River. Not just the Elizabeth River, but the Elizabeth River Project. And today we are joined by Lacy Shirey, Executive Director for the Elizabeth River Project. Lacy, welcome to Life Outdoors. How are you doing?
Thanks, Chris. It's so good to be here with you today.
We're talking about one of your favorite projects because you are now the Executive Director of the Elizabeth River Project. How long have you had that title and what's it all about?
Yeah, I'm the proud Executive Director of the Elizabeth River Project. I have been there for 6 months now, so very new into the role and have learned so much in those 6 months and still have so much to learn, so it's exciting.
Are you taking over for Marjorie?
I am. So our founding executive director retired after 30 years earlier this year, and so she's retired now, but she was a force of nature that really brought this organization and the river to incredible lengths.
It started in 1993, but the river prior to that, and it took a long time to clean up. Talk about prior to the Elizabeth River Project, what we were dealing with the Elizabeth River, because as everyone knows, we are a maritime community, industrial, you name it, the river is in the heart of it. Talk about the river prior to ERP.
Yeah, the river is the heart of Hampton Roads, and our waterways. But in the 90s, the reason that moved Marjorie to found this great organization was the river was essentially declared dead. So it was devoid of life, and it was her passion and her mission, her drive to restore the river and educate the public about why we need to restore the river. And so she actually quit her job at the Virginian Pilot to found this organization. She took a leap of faith, and we are so much better for it.
Okay, when you say dead, what does that mean exactly? Because there's a lot of reasons why it was dead. Why was it dead?
Right. So we have a lot of nutrient pollutions that go into the river, and it was just a buildup that had been ignored over the years. So there's some parts of our river along our industrial waterways where we can find creosote buildup that is still, just sitting there on the bottom of the waterway, and it is very involved to clean that up. And we're still dealing with that today. So we've come a long way, but we still have a lot more cleanup to do. And it's as simple as some of our, the things that we do at home that we can do better, but also our larger industrial partners too that contribute to cleaning up the river and making sure that we're a better place.
And as we talk about that, it is so much better. And big thanks to Elizabeth River Project for that. We're going to show you a little bit of footage of just how beautiful it is. And when you see this river, we're talking about a waterway that touches all four cities.
Yes.
And it touches it in so many different ways. You've got main waters, you've got little tributaries, you've got wetlands all across it, you've got little fingers. And then there's all the creatures and the wildlife that are surrounded by it. It touches a lot of people in so many different ways, and you know that better than anybody.
Yes, I think that is the key to it, is that the river means something to all of us here in Hampton Roads, whether it be, what your line of work is, or your recreation. The waterway is so important to us, even just getting commerce here with our deep water ports and protection for the country with the largest naval base here.
We're seeing some pollution right there, but it's come so far. Mm-hmm. How has Elizabeth River Project made a difference since 1993, and what is the state of the river right now?
So where we've come is by focusing on a wide range of aspects. So the smaller projects, helping residents restore their shorelines, and make a hardened shoreline or a failing bulkhead into a living shoreline that is going to welcome back, a place for otters to live. And then we also work with some of our larger industrial partners and large million-dollar projects that involve the Army Corps of Engineers and state and federal entities to work on those projects. And so it's by approaching it from that multifaceted way that we were able to make such progress. We do still have some legacy toxins in the southern branch that we're focusing on, but overall we have seen such an incredible improvement of the river over these past 30 years, and we're dedicated to continue that effort to sustain the river and make it continually better.
Yeah, and we're talking about education. We're talking about teaching the public and people who live on the water how they can make a difference. And we're seeing the planting of grass, which is a simple thing that can make such a big difference.
Yes. So that planting that you just saw the clip of, that was one that we just did this spring at the Buckeye Terminal, and that was a former creosote plant. And so that was where the creosote, the logs were rolled off before they were shipped up further north. And that was decades of creosote just dripping in, and then it was exacerbated by a fire that had happened too. So that is one of the projects we still have a lot of work to do on, but that living shoreline is brand new, and we keep monitoring it to make sure that those plants are healthy and going to take root and continue to embellish that shoreline.
You mentioned living shoreline, which is a really important title. That's important people understand that it is a living shoreline, as you're seeing here, probably a dying shoreline with the pollution and the tires and the you can see the water quality was really bad in that last picture.
Right.
How does replanting of the marsh grasses and making sure that the runoff is correct, how does that make a difference?
Well, we are very intentional to use native grasses when we do a living shoreline, and so when we partner with residents or our corporate partners, we're guiding them along the way on best practices for that. So we're using native species that are able to adapt best to that environment, and they act to filter. They act to hold the ground in place so that you're not having erosion problems anymore, and then it provides so much habitat for local species to return. And so it's those three things that are just really vital to bringing back the health of the river, but also the shoreline that we enjoy so much and that entrance into the waterway.
The key word is restore and relationships, education. There's so much that is involved. We're going to take a short break right now, but we're going to return with Lacy Shirey and talk more about the Elizabeth River and all it has to offer everyone here in Hampton Roads. Stick around for that. And welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling, and this is Executive Director of the Elizabeth River Project, Lacy Shirey. She is joining us today. We're talking all things Elizabeth River Project. Take me to the river, drop me in the water. You wouldn't have wanted to do that before 1993, but now you definitely want to get in the water and use it. We talked about the state of the river right now, and there's so many different ways you can enjoy the river. And I asked you before the interview, how do you like to enjoy the river there, Lacy?
Yeah, so I really enjoy getting out on the water and paddleboarding. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I also enjoy a good kayak. So
yeah, and watching sunsets and,
oh, yeah.
and fishing. I mean, there's so many things. Okay, so just break down the river for a little bit. I mentioned in the first segment that it touches four of the cities here in Hampton Roads. Just how big is the Elizabeth River?
Yeah, so the river,
it's massive.
It is, and it's part of the larger watershed for the Chesapeake Bay. The Chesapeake Bay actually covers several states into the inland area. So a watershed is defined as any kind of landmass where the water drains into the watershed. And so Elizabeth River spans through Norfolk, Portsmouth, Chesapeake, and a little bit of Virginia Beach. So quite a big presence here in Hampton Roads.
And one of the things that contributes greatly to the health of the river are the homes that live on the river.
Yes.
People don't realize that what comes off their yard seeps into the river. What do they need to know?
Yeah, it's everybody doing their part to make a big difference. And so there are a few really basic things that you can do. One of them is picking up your pet's poop. So scooping the poop, keeping those nutrients out of our waterways is huge. We can also make sure that we don't have any kind of chemicals going down the stormwater drains, because all of that leads into our watershed. Yeah. So keeping the nutrients out is a great way to do your part.
Scoop the poop, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. There's also a couple ways that you can enjoy the river. First, let's talk about the Resiliency Lab. That place is amazing. It's so unique in so many different ways. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Ryan Resilience Lab on Colley Avenue in Norfolk is, we've been open just a little over a year now, and it's a global model for coastal resilience, and it's meant to teach our local residents and our business partners how you can live with rising sea levels. So the building itself is an example in every part of it about how you can build more responsibly, and we have information on all the components that go into it, as well as the programming that we offer there for educating. We primarily are educating our adults there, and we have partnerships with over 10 universities locally where they're doing research on our HRSD dock down by the water and collecting data every day, 24 hours.
And not just that, but also the Paradise Creek Nature Park in Portsmouth is pretty spectacular. Talk about your involvement with that.
Yes, so Paradise Creek Nature Park in Portsmouth is an oasis at the foot of the Jordan Bridge. It was formerly a Navy landfill, and so Elizabeth River Project partnered with the Navy to help clean up that site, and now it has over 11 acres of restored wetlands, 2 miles of trails, and the park itself is about 40 acres. And it is really a hidden gem. If you haven't been there before, I would highly encourage it.
It's great for kayak launch, playgrounds, wildflowers, picnics, you name it. And now we're seeing something from the Learning Barge, which is really cool. Talk about the Learning Barge.
Yes, the Learning Barge is our floating classroom. So it's America's greenest vessel, and it's a partnership with Dominion Energy to create this classroom that impacts over 7,000 students each year. So we have school groups from all over Hampton Roads that have this as a part of their school curriculum, and they have 6 different stations along the barge where they get to interact and learn about the importance of the river. And the beautiful thing is that the kids that we see coming to the Learning Barge and the kids that we see coming to Paradise Creek Nature Park, many times they have never had this kind of interaction with the water. So we have the opportunity to teach them about the importance of this and spark that light in their minds to learn more and be good stewards to the environment.
And kids love hands-on experience right
They
there.
do,
Touching
yes.
a crab. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they get to do water quality testing, and that right there, they're measuring the wind speed. So they get to learn about science and technology.
Science and tech, STEM, love it. Love the sound of that. I mean, what kid wouldn't like that? And it's all about education and restoring. I mean, how important is education component of Elizabeth River Project?
It's vital. It's just as important as the restoration work we do, because if we're not educating our community, but also our next generation, then we're not creating sustainable impacts. So we see it as 2 pillars of our organization is the education and restoration.
It really is a tremendous success story that ERP has been in the forefront. But you haven't done this alone. You have so many tremendous partners.
Yes. Yeah, our partners are crucial to us. So we have an incredible team of staff members and volunteers, but then it's our community partners. So we have those 10 university partners. We partner with VIMS. We have local scientists in the community that we work with for providing that technical information to guide our work. And then we work with unlikely partners. And that's one of the things I love most about the Elizabeth River Project is that we're not here to shame others. We're here to work with them and be a resource so we can all be better, recognizing that we have such a vital economic value, and that is a part of our life, and we're not trying to change that part.
And, bottom line is we're a maritime community. The industry is here. It's not going away.
Right.
We have to learn to get along, and you guys have figured it out. Are they easy to work with, these industries? Because I know they want to do their best, but they also have a job to do.
Right. They're incredible to work with. So many of them are our Riverstar businesses, and so they go through a program where we are able to recognize their efforts, but then we can also guide them. And, they might not take all of our guidance, but where they can, they often take our guidance and even exceed it. And it's just so incredible to see the work that they do.
Speaking of seeing, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to see and touch and feel, show and tell some of the things you can see and do out on the Elizabeth River. Take a short break on Life Outdoors. Stick around for that. Welcome back to Life Outdoors. I'm your host, Chris Reckling. We're talking all things Elizabeth River today here with Lacy Shirey, Executive Director from the Elizabeth River Project. We've talked about the river, the state of the river, and now we're going to talk about some of the fun things you might be able to see, some of the critters and animals. Lacy, talk about some of the animals that you can spot on the Elizabeth River. Of course, we can see lots of birds, lots of blue herons, lots of egrets, pelicans, seagulls, osprey doing their thing, which are all incredible and thriving. Let's talk about the other animals you see out there.
Yeah, and the return of animals and the diversity that we see now on the Elizabeth River is one of the most rewarding impacts that we see for the work to clean up the river. So I have with me here an otter pelt, and we use this for educational tours at the Ryan Lab. It's a very soft pelt, but it keeps them nice and warm throughout the year. And so the importance of otters returning to the Elizabeth River is they're an apex species. And so for them to survive, they need a very lush food network that they can survive off of. And if they don't have that, and they don't have the habitat with the natural grasses where they can seek cover, then we're not going to see their presence here. And that was the case. And so it's so rewarding to see them come back.
Everything builds off each other. They're the canary in the coal mine. If you don't have them, there's a reason why. And if you have them, that's a good sign. And they eat all the smallest things to the largest things. And if the oysters are good, if the minnows are there, if the fish are there, that means the water is thriving, and that's really important.
Absolutely.
You got a program for the otters? Have you ever seen one?
Well, I have not, but it's pretty much a life goal for me to do that, and I hope to achieve it soon. So, but we do have a really great community science program that we partner with a national organization, and it's called the Otter Spotter program.
Otter Spotter?
Yeah, so if you see an otter within the Elizabeth River watershed, you can report the sighting. And if you have photos or video, we love that even more. We want the videos, we want the photos. We'll feature them in our newsletter. So if you have a trail camera, something like this, they're not too expensive, but you can set this out and try to capture them, especially if you have a dock, you live on the shoreline. Otters are kind of elusive creatures, so it's not common that you might see one yourself, and it's more common that you might see them on the video, but you might see their footprints. This is a mold of their little paw print, so that's what it looks like if you see those paw prints in your sand.
Lacy, how many times do people see a nutrient or a muskrat and they think they see an otter?
Yeah.
Or like, I saw a beaver. No, you didn't.
Well, otters are more and more prevalent, so the chances are increased. But yes, we do have muskrat in the area, and if you're well-versed enough, you can look at their swimming pattern and be able to identify the difference between them. But those are also great creatures to have. They're native. The nutria, they are invasive and not so much what we want to see return, but the otters and the muskrats are great.
Let's talk oysters. Yummy. Okay, you guys are really good at restoring oysters. There's oyster reefs, they're filter feeders. The more oysters, the better. How are they doing out there?
So we have seen a huge return because of efforts like the Elizabeth River Project and Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Lynnhaven River Now, of oyster gardening and working with the community to build up those oyster beds. And you're right, they filter, they do the work for us, and they do an incredible job at it. So the more we can use them and see them come back to our river, the better off we all are for many reasons.
They say 50 gallons a day, each oyster. Come on, man. It's hard to imagine. And what's even hard to imagine is that dolphin come from the ocean all the way back to the Elizabeth River.
Yes.
They're interesting creatures. They're searching and looking for food, and they like to just explore.
They are.
You've seen some out there, right?
I have, yeah. It's always so majestic to see the dolphins swimming in the river, and to see they're such curious creatures. So they're so playful and fun.
This is why we're talking, the success story of the Elizabeth River, going from a dead waterway to a living, thriving, breathing entity that is a big part because of the Elizabeth River Project. When you can go out there and see this on a regular basis, that means it's working.
Yes.
How can people take advantage of what you guys offer? I know you have events from time to time, but maybe somebody might want to see the Resilient Lab or go to the Learning Barge or Paradise Creek. What do they need to know?
Right. Well, our website is a great resource, elizabethriver.org. We do tours of the Ryan Resilience Lab, mostly on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's a great way to sign up and learn more about the lab on a very personal basis with our tour guide, and see the beautiful views of Knitting Mill Creek right there on the river. So then we also often have volunteer opportunities where you can participate with litter cleanups. Right now we have some living shorelines that you can come out and help build. That's a really cool experience because you get that hands-on experience. You get to see it firsthand. And then you can, visit that site later on and see how it's doing and how much it's established, which is great. But I'll say, we depend on support from our community to do the work that we do. So one of the best ways to get involved with the Elizabeth River Project is to become a member. And our memberships start at just $35. Right now, we're running a campaign to raise $75,000 by Labor Day. And so your support can help us get there.
Raise how much?
$75,000.
$75,000. That you can do that. Here's something that's extremely important. If you live on the river, you should be a member. And you should be aware of what your personal property can impact that river and waterway that you're on. Because if each person who lives on the water is taking care of their property, that water will be so much healthier.
Absolutely. You got it, Chris. Thanks for being our spokesperson.
Well, I mean, it takes a village, and that's why you partner with all these great companies and the other environmental groups, but it's the homeowners who can make a tremendous difference.
Absolutely.
Scooping the poop,
yeah.
putting in native wetlands and grasses and taking care of your property can make a big difference all around.
Huge difference, yeah. Small numbers create big impact.
Okay, we got a couple more minutes to go. You talk about Courtner, the partnerships that you have with corporations and businesses and donors and all of that. Anybody else you want to recognize out there, because it's a big project?
Yeah, it is a big project, and like I said, we've got an incredible team of staff members that do the work that we do every day. And as you mentioned, we've got a lot of partners in the area. So Chesapeake Bay Foundation is a big partner of ours, and by working together, we achieve so much more. And, we're focused on the Elizabeth River, but that all runs into the Chesapeake Bay watershed. So it's a beautiful partnership, and it's great to have that collaborative spirit in our region.
Do you get along with Lynn Haven River now?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. I feel like, we got our river, you got your river. Which one's better?
No, we all flow together. So,
I'm
yeah.
like kidding.
Yeah.
They're connected. The water keeps going back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whose waterway is bigger? Shaw's.
Elizabeth River is bigger, yes. And then we also have the James River on the other side of the water. So
so there's more than one river here in Hampton Roads?
Yes.
Wow.
On the peninsula, yes.
I know that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I mean, it's all interconnected. It all starts at, Chesapeake Bay,
Yeah, it does.
And then it's the ocean. And then next thing you know, you can go around the world. So we're all interconnected in some way. Okay, so have you ever seen, you haven't seen an otter? No. That's a bucket list. And we hear that every now and then some crazy species will get up here, like the manatee.
I know. I saw the news report. I did not see that myself, but that was interesting. It's a little concerning because I think part of it is because of our warming waters. Mm-hmm. But it's an anomaly and certainly a sight to see. Yeah.
And you never know about alligators, too. Everything is, when it's warmer, they start reaching out, looking for other grounds, and you just never know what you're going to see out there.
You never know, but you shouldn't be scared to get into the river.
And the fishing is great in Elizabeth River, too. I mean, the fishing is good.
Yes,
Safe to eat the fish.
It is. We still have some branches of the Elizabeth River that you do want to use some precaution with, but you can look on our website and explore which parts of the river are healthier and which parts that you might want to avoid.
How much does the river change seasonally? I mean, just you never know. Wet seasons, dry seasons. I mean, wet seasons, there's so much runoff. The water changes.
Exactly. So yes, in our wetter seasons, which we're in Virginia, so we do have a fair amount of rain all year round, but it is that waterway runoff that brings a lot of nutrients into our river. So we do see fluctuations like that, but we also need that rain for other reasons. So it's important. Right. Yeah.
Well, listen, it has been awesome talking to you, Lacy. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us here on Life Outdoors, and thank you for restoring and doing what you're doing for the Elizabeth River that impacts all of us. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Chris.
And thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Life Outdoors. Don't forget to get outside and enjoy your life outdoors.